Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Dubai Stars. Today I have an international star, Mr. Daniel G.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. It's such a pleasure to have you. First of all, congratulations on the massive success that you've been doing worldwide. Congratulations on yesterday's event. Our phones didn't stop ringing. Everyone's like, we want to meet him. Make sure we see him before he flies out of Dubai.
Thank you.
So Daniel, as I start with every guest I have on the show, we want to know what triggered you, what made you do this message, because the training and teaching has to be a message, it has to be a fulfillment. So how did it all started?
Yeah, well, I mean, just like anybody, I was in sales since I was young. You know, just like you were in sales since you were young, you know, I was selling since I was a young age, door-to-door sales. I was selling CDs at school. But what triggered me, like what was the point that triggered me to start training and not just it's like selling triggered me because I was broke. Yeah. That's it. That's what we were talking yesterday when I was telling the team. I'm like, why do you guys need so much motivation? If you're broke, money and sales is the motivator. That's it. Like that is the motivator, sales and money. If you need more, you shouldn't be in sales. Meaning if somebody says, well, I need to read a book to get motivated, inspired, you shouldn't be in sales. Sales, the opportunity within itself is just motivating fucking enough. I was broke, I needed to sell, that's it. So sales, that was my kickoff because when my parents broke up, I was broke and I said, what's the quickest way to make money? I made $20 quicker than my friends made $10 at KFC. When I first started real sales, I was 15, but I started selling before that. Okay. But when I started for a company, I was 15 in a door-to-door sales job, working with my brother's, health insurance and SIM card, etc. Because my brother was 3 years older, because it was illegal, obviously, to work at 15, right? So I took an opportunity in high school. They were recruiting sales reps. I took the opportunity. I was working on the weekends. I skipped school Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The motivator for me to work, again, I realized that number one, I can make more than people around me, garbage in, garbage out, meaning that I'm a hard worker like yourself. I'm competitive. I always want to be the best. And when you're working a job, you don't get rewarded to be the best inside of your job. So I wanted to be I come from a sports background. So I wanted to be rewarded when I was the best. So I just got into sales because I realized if I eat everybody left and right of me, I'm going to make more than them. And my first time when I worked in sales, like my first paycheck that I ever got, I made, let's say $300 in a weekend. I went to my friends, they made 60 working at McDonald's were the cases. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Forget about it. I'm staying in sales. So I was in sales. Yeah. It's just and $300, by the way, at that time, 15 years ago, whatever the case was a lot of money on a weekend. It's more than my teachers are making or my parents. But that sales, again, for me, I never had to stay motivated. That was hyped. That was my kickoff. But now training, when somebody says, okay, what triggers the training thing? I think what triggers the training thing, for me is that because nobody taught us to be good in sales and nobody's doing it.
I had to go through the mud and everything to get where we are.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, if I could do this shit and I got good at sales, I'm like, I know everybody can do this, right? So it just started trickling in. I started training, some schools, some teams, blah, blah, blah. And I just started growing it day by day. I just realized, okay, if a dropout kid that was counted out can do this sales thing, anybody can do the sales thing. And just think of how many people, I don't even know if I said this before, but think of how many people, bro, go through sales, right? Like say you're 16, 17, everybody eventually sells something in their life. Whether it's a cell phone in a store, they sell shoes, they sell watches, they sell something. Everybody sells something. 90% of people go on to sell one thing in their life, but 89% probably end up quitting because nobody programmed them or taught them to be in sales. But it's crazy in my head. I'm like, shit, we've all sold something, but then we're like, everybody's worked in a mall, sold something, but then they end up quitting. I'm like, okay, they're programmed to quit. Of course they're gonna end up quitting because nobody said, hey, take this class, be trained in sales. You could do this for a living, get into real estate. Hey, why don't you figure out about this insurance thing? You should get into more. So to me, I realized, okay, we've been effed because everybody's been in sales, but everybody quit sales. Everybody quit sales because nobody encouraged them to be in sales. So you're gonna follow the system. So all I said was, no, if I could do it, everybody can do it. And this is where the trigger came in from. I've seen every walk of life become successful at a train. I've seen the mother of three move to South Florida that was dead, broke, busted, and disgusted, learn how to make $50,000 to $100,000 a month. The same way you guys seen people walk in the office from every single walk of life make money. To me, every single time I see this, it gets me more excited and more excited and more excited. That's why I do events. I can see, success stories.
So you thrive on the fulfillment that you take by changing people's life.
Yes, yes.
Tell us, what are the most successful characteristics of a person? Like when you look at a person, you see this guy, okay, he's quick, he's smart, he can do well in sales, but in this product, this other guy, he's more humble, he's more like quiet, he can be okay doing something related to sales. So how you classify people by just looking at them and have a quick chess, know who will make it and who will not make it?
One, hunger, period. It's the hunger is the one that people try to like move away from, but it's the baseline. So it doesn't matter what you're in. It doesn't mean you have to be enthusiastic and crazy outgoing, but hunger is number one. You can't do anything without it. There's no good strategy in the world that can implement with low hunger. So number one, it's hunger. I think desire to be like the hunger to be the best that you can be. Always is the number one characteristic. It's like an internal game more than an external game. Yes, again, to me, I always say like sales is competitive. I look at people around the office, I want to be the best. But even to myself, it's a hunger to see how much potential I have left in me. Like to me, myself, I always say, okay, there's more, there's another limit, there's another limit. I've tapped into sources of energy that I didn't even knew were capable. So I always, okay, the hunger to see my potential. One, I think the second thing is, a lot of great salespeople are emotionless, okay? So what I mean by that is they negate their emotions in the right way inside of sales. So a lady came up to me after the event. She's like, what would be your best advice for me if I just started off? And she's with you guys. And she's been in sales for about 4 to 6 months. And I said, my best advice is this. Don't think about yesterday for the right and the wrong reasons. Meaning, if you win yesterday, don't think about it. If you lost yesterday, don't think about it. Reverse engineer at the end of the night, but go on to your next day because the best people are next. They're not getting caught up in the person that ghosted them. The problem is that people are way too empathetic about their past situations and not empathetic enough in their current situations. So they're more empathetic or they're more emotional about what happened yesterday rather than being more emotional on the phone call that they're having, which is two different types of emotions. It's where you channel the energy. Are you thinking about yesterday or are you thinking about this call? Next. Every salesperson is like next. I just did a deal. Okay, next deal. The person that has emotions gets caught up on their first deal. So like I just did a deal, I made $25,000. Now they get caught up in the emotion. You got to be emotionless. Even though you didn't expect to make $30,000 like that kid that just walked in the office and made $30,000, you got to realize that if you get emotional about it, which is a great emotion because you get happy, you might get effed up now because now you're hyped off the $30,000. So emotionless. I think emotionless, treating it like work, just saying next, being grateful for what's coming in, but yeah, being emotionless.
I find most of these people that we're talking about, their weakness is like the numbers. Like on an average, if you make 100 calls, you will end up to be having 10 meetings. From the 10 meetings, if you're okay, you'll close 1. If you're really good, you can close 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
So when I ask someone like, how is your pipeline is looking like? Yeah, I have 2 clients I'm working at. I'm like, your full pipeline is 2 clients. Okay, maybe the deal value might be massive, but still 2 clients is nothing. You need to have minimum 20 where we'll be in the stage of cold, going to warm, then to the actual meeting. And what happened, they base their months in these 2 clients. And if these 2 clients ghost them, they have to dwell on it for the next 2 weeks. So eventually it's a process of a month and a half, which is gone. While the actual productive one, they will not be fulfilled whatever they close. Can I give you an example of myself? There was one day I made over 7 figures in one day.
You told me last night.
I came back to the office and I kept calling like nothing happened. I didn't even count it. Why?
This is like my shit.
Because the way I see it is like I'm trading my time, which is my most valuable asset, with cash. And that cash will never get me to buy time again. So I'm working 1 year like I'm working for the next 10 years. Because eventually I have an end goal where I'm gonna hit that massive number where I'm gonna shift my business. And most of the guys are here are living day to day, paycheck to paycheck, not really knowing that today you are in such a vibrant city where whatever you make, I don't know, you can make in a month what other people need to make in 5 years in different countries. But they don't see that. Why? Because they don't feel like I'm capable of it. I'm not worth it.
Yes,
for them, like the society has broken them down they damage them in a way that
they're not even aware of it, by the way.
let me just make a living, you know, I can eat, I can pay my bills, I have an okay life, happy day, thank God.
So if they make the 10,000, they're like, oh my God, I don't even feel like I was worth it. I don't even feel like I was worth it. That's why yesterday, I don't know if you remember when I was saying when I bought my Lamborghini, I was 24 and I was shaking because I didn't feel like I was worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, whoa, this is too much. This is too much. Even though I knew deep down inside, I'm good at what I do. I work so hard for what I do. But somebody, all the external environment programmed me to say, you are not worth that car. It's crazy. And another thing that you brought up, which I think was super important that I want to go back on, is when you said that some people have 2 people in their pipeline, or let's just say 15 people in their pipeline, and they're moving the needle and it's still not enough, because what happens is towards the end of the month when you need a check or you need to close on customers or whatever the case is, sales is like a living organism. Like you need it to keep pumping, right? The worst thing I think a salesperson can do, because you said what's good traits, I think the worst trait is not realizing that it's 24/7. Meaning that if you are not constantly this thing, and it's mental too, it's not physical, meaning not picking up the phone 24/7, mental 24/7. When you go to, because everybody likes to see the physical game, like this is physical, the calls, it's all physical. But mental, it's 24/7. When you're going to bed at nighttime, you're thinking about it. That's the mental game. And it's funny because, you know, I even talk about like even when you're in relationships, some girls or guys will date somebody that's maybe in sales. Oh, it's so cool. They live such a nice lifestyle. Look at them. Nice cars, nice suits, da, da, da. Yeah, but little do you know, you're looking at the physical result of what they have. Now, let's see if you can handle the mental thing where they go to bed at nighttime and they're freaking thinking about sales, and they wake up and they're thinking about sales and they have the stress. This is normal. So I don't think what people understand that sales is a very mental game as well. So they got to constantly be thinking, how am I going to move this deal forward? Who am I going to contact tomorrow? What am I going to do tomorrow? Most people aren't intentional even about their thoughts. Most people don't think. It's literally a thing. They will go from here downstairs to Starbucks thinking about going to get their coffee. A salesperson, a true salesperson, is going down to Starbucks still thinking about their business, simultaneously realizing people in the elevator, saying thank you to the girl that gives them Starbucks. They're on every
to sell someone in Starbucks,
at the same time. Being kind to the Starbucks person, and not just being kind to the Starbucks person because that is your job in life, but also realizing that if I'm kind to this person, somebody at my energy is going to realize that. And they might come up to, hey bro, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. This is it. They're on 24/7. So the best trait I think for a salesperson is it's a 24/7 game. You don't split the activities in sales in the beginning stages. I would say for the first 2 years, you don't live sales and life differently. And this is only for people, this message that we're saying is for people that actually want to make money. If you come into sales, you want to do a part-time, which is not the best thing to do in sales, I think personally, to do sales part-time, because it's just way too stressful to handle it part-time. I don't think it's a good thing to go part-time. But I think for somebody to realize that, you know, you can't rush towards the end of the month to close somebody in sales. If the pipeline is not full, this is what we were talking about. It's like you can't go grocery shopping when you get hungry. You know, it's already too late. There's no food in the cupboards. It's too late. Yeah. There's no food. You can't eat. You can't dig the well when you get thirsty. You need to dig the well so when you're thirsty, you got water. So when you want to make money, where's your clients? Where's your pipeline? Who have you worked? To me, it's insane. If somebody doesn't add 5, 6, 7 contacts to their pipeline every single day, they're dead. It is the only thing inside of business. The most important thing inside of the business is to keep just focusing on the prospecting thing. Eventually, you prospect hard enough that you probably never have to prospect in the next 10 to 15 years. But any smart person wants to say, you're good. Anyway. People are going to prospect for you.
That's what I tell them. Like once you get a referral, 80% of the business is done. You just need to select the units because that person that referred
you created other prospectors. Yeah. You've created you did so well at, it's so good. You did so well at prospecting. I never even thought of this, because some people try to jump. They're like, how do I get referrals? One sec, you're not even prospecting. You got to do both. But you do so well at prospecting in the beginning that throughout your career, you're creating other prospects that prospect for you because you're so heavy on prospecting as a byproduct. You don't even know what's going to happen. Some people that have the biggest referral network aren't even like intentional so much about the referrals because they're so focused on building good relationships, right? And then sometimes referrals come in second nature because they're always thinking about prospecting, where the case is. So to me, it's like, you can't say, I just want to get referrals if you haven't paid the dues of prospecting in the first 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case is. I'm sure for you, people are now referring just business left, right, and center.
Of course,
right?
But also
Do you still drum up business till now? You still bring in business yourself? Yeah. Cold business too?
Yeah, why not? I mean, like, I have now the image that I do close bulk deals.
Right, of course.
I make most of my investors leverage on their money because I got them crazy payment plans. They need to pay 10, 20%. They take the keys, the remaining post-handover payments plan, 0 interest. I manage the properties under short-term rental where they make anywhere between 10 to 12%. So I'm making their money work for them and they're extremely happy because there is no headache. So I have this section. The other side I want to tell you is like, I always do little stuff that will make people appreciate it. For example, like now, whenever I'm doing a sale, this buyer has to share with me his passport copy. I look at the passport copy. Immediately, what do I look? Date of birth. I open my Google Calendar. I go to that date, I put his name, that's his birthday. And when his birthday comes, I pick up the phone. I don't text him. I just take a video. Hey, whoever he is, you know, I just want to wish you an amazing day.
I love that.
My best regards to you, to the wifey, to the kids. I hope you have a great one. Okay. Also, I send them, I don't know, bouquet of flowers, chocolate, whatever it is. I do the extra step. Any unit I sell, I always make sure I send them an espresso machine to the house because every day when he's doing that coffee, he's remembering me. And whoever comes to his house, I love the house, you know, like, okay, great. Take Anthony's number, just call him, he will do everything for you, don't worry. So in this way, I'm always in their mind. Even if he's not doing business for the next 2-3 years, he's remembering me. I always make sure I check on them whenever I'm passing in that area. It's like, hey, how's it going? So keep that contact with the people because these people, for me, they are not numbers. The way I create my sales experience is like, you're my friends and we're going shopping. We're going real estate shopping. We're going whatever service you need in the country, I can provide it to you. So I make them feel we're friends.
Right.
Tons of times I pay installments on behalf of them, which is $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And they were like, Tony, you're mad. I'm like, no, I know you're gonna pay it eventually. I'm just making your life easier. So this is what I do myself. This is why I always have this repetitive business because I have a very successful business model and business mentality.
And it's crazy because then you start learning these things as you go along as well. Like, you know, you started learning, okay, wait, how do I keep this client, you know, as a relationship for a lifetime? How do I keep this person top of mind for a lifetime when I want to think about this person? It's not just, again, that's why I was saying yesterday, I say some people just do the job to do the job. Like some people are like, okay, I sold the home. Whoa, what do you mean you sold the home? Okay, what next? You just sold the home, but what next? Did you put the coffee maker in the home? Did you go to their house? Did you do a housewarming for them?
This is done for most of the people because, as I'm telling you, most of the real estate brokers in the city, their job is like, I either sell or rent a property. But there is way more than that. There's property management, there's holiday homes, there is finances.
Sure, that's the horizon of your business.
You can release equity on this property and make him buy 1 or 2 more. You know, there is interior designer, there is furnishing, there is anything he wants that we can provide to him. So basically, let's say I'm a one-stop shop and he has one service. So if you're going to a mall and you go to a place where he has the jacket, shirt, pants, or you go to one place who has only shirts. I'll go to a place where I can find everything. So this is the difference between the two. So the brokers are just programmed in this city, either I sell or I rent. They don't see the bigger image that there is way more to that.
And you know, it's funny because what happens is I feel like even for myself, most people think they're probably watching this and they're like, well, Anthony, it's easy for you to say because you made a lot of money in real estate and then your horizon got broadened. Yeah, but why don't you just look at it as a learning curve to be like, I don't got to make a lot of money to extend my services. You know what I mean? Even if it's taking you a few years to say, oh shit, it's not a one-stop shop. Let me offer homestay services. Let me offer, you know, international services, cleaning services, etc. I think people have to watch that and not wait until they make a lot of money to offer more services. The only way they make more money is to offer a lot of services.
Having the services will make them money.
Will make them more money. And your clients respect you 10 times more too as well. 100%. When you could take care of a whole client, like I used to still think as well, like I have a sales agency. Daniel, we need one of your sales guys. That's one dimensional. Take a sales guy. I think I'm doing well. And then I started thinking, I'm like, why just a sales guy? Why not a marketing team? Why not an operations person? Why not hire an assistant for that person? Why not just make that person's life easier? But the problem is when people get into sales, they don't see it as a service. So they're like, well, I don't want to sell them more. Really? Well, then get out, because then you don't feel like your product can actually help somebody. To me, I'm doing this person a favor. This person doesn't want to market. They don't want to hire a systems person. They don't know operations. They don't know how to do sales. Let me do everything for them to make their life easier so they can focus what they're good at. My clients shouldn't be marketing. When your people come in here, they need to have a full 360. Okay, I got you covered here. I got you covered here on the cleaning services, on the leasing services. When your family members come in, we could put them here until they get a visa approved, until they can live in a house. It makes their life easier. The moment a salesperson looks at themselves as a disservice and an interruption, they're effed. They're done. 100%. It's over. If you look at yourself as like, I don't want to offer somebody too much, I don't know, you're done in sales. If you look at yourself as a gift or a blessing for somebody, you're good. Yeah. Because you're like, wait, how do I give more to this person? How do I really make this person's life easier? I'm a gift. Every single hand that I shake to, I'm a gift to this person. And then you'll start adding more services. So it's like salespeople either have two brains when they walk inside of their office. Either they think that they're going to be an interruption when they call somebody, or they think they're going to be a gift when they call somebody. That's it. They can only simultaneously think one thought. Yeah. I don't know which thought, but I could see through people's language, okay, this person thinks they're an interruption. Why? When he picked up the phone, he said, hey, sorry to bug you. Hey, sorry to bug you. Sorry to bug you. Sorry to bug you. What do you, you're already, I could tell in the person's mind, he thinks he's an interruption. Yeah. So he's not going to talk to the person. He's not going to add another service. He's not going to have 18 different services, because he's the guy that DMs somebody saying, sorry to bug you, man. Don't want to waste your time. I am not doing an interview. If you say, Daniel, I want your time. Sorry to bug you. I know you're super busy. Sorry, I don't want to do a business with you. You know, you lost your posture already. Yeah, you lost your posture already. It's
different. Like,
yes.
I can tell you something. Like, I do close between 250 to 300 units a year.
Right.
80% of those, they never inquired for real estate. It was either a company formation, someone moving to Dubai, someone just stayed 2-3 months in a short-term rental, fell in love with the city. He was like, okay, it's time to invest. Someone is coming to have a second nationality by investment somewhere else. So all of this, they didn't come to real estate. The beauty about Dubai, that you come here to visit Dubai, once you spend 72 hours, you will like, wow.
Yeah, I'm staying here.
It's flashy.
Yeah.
You're an example.
Yeah.
You're coming in November, you want to stay.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's very luxurious. This city sells itself. What we have on top of all of the international real estate, we have so many reasons where people want to be in Dubai, and it's beneficial for them to be in Dubai. So the city sells itself. All what you need to do is present it properly. That's it. Such an easy.
And don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Like, don't take it for granted.
And don't like sound like this pushy sales person.
Yes, don't.
People wants to stay away from you. Take them out.
Because there's so many. There's abundance.
Let me take you to Italian places where you will enjoy it. I don't know. You're into any activity. It's here. Let me show it to you. And that's how you create the relationship. And that's how you do the sale, which will lead you to be doing 10 sales and eventually 100 sales.
Like the concept. It's crazy that we're talking about this. The concept is within itself right now as it's happening in real life form. Because think of it. If I move to Dubai in November, December, whenever I do decide to move, obviously I'm calling you guys. I'm not gonna go call somebody. I'm calling you guys. And the only reason why I'm calling you guys is because now we have a relationship. Because we went out for dinner. We were out last night. We're doing a show together. We are doing an event together. There's nobody else that I'm gonna call. It's not even a mere thought. Was your job to say, hey, when Daniel comes in, I'm gonna sell him real estate? No, it wasn't your job. Yeah. But you're doing it subconsciously now, because this is just who you're accustomed to be.
And when I showed you what's the benefits of you owning a real estate,
you
were like, okay, this is too good to be true, definitely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, your intention was not say, he's gonna come here, I'm gonna sell him some property right away. I'm gonna sell him some property. Yeah. Let's just create a relationship with him. Let's have fun. Let's go out. You know, let me show him some information about what it is to be here. I would like for him to be here, because then we could do more stuff together. Whatever the case is, like, the intention is good. It's not like, oh, I need to sell him to make $50,000. That's the problem when people get into sales. They're thinking so transactional. It's like, okay, I got to get this person. The moment you start thinking about the commission check, it's game over. Have a good day. You're done. Because now every single conversation comes out of your mouth, you're attached to a commission check. I see the people that get emotional in the office. I talk to all of them. I'm like, you're already thinking about your commission before you created the relationship with the person. You're already thinking about, how would I make $23,500 off this person? You just treated the person like a number. You treated them like, I could smell it now out of your breath. It's coming in.
I can feel the vibe anyway.
Yes.
Daniel, I want to ask you, like, you train tons of people. And whenever you are in any room, you just like pump this beautiful energy. You're gone, 48 hours. all of this pump, that person that took from you, it's gone. There's no more motivation.
Right.
What do you do next? Like you as like, let's say you're not a motivator, you're just talking about your lifestyle with people, you're sharing it.
Yeah, I'm
You're
passionate about what I
genuinely
do.
happy. Yeah, you're
Yes,
happy,
yes,
you're
yes.
passionate, you're all of this. But as I told you, in any event, like even yesterday, it was a
For a
beautiful
fact,
event.
95% of the people go home
Yeah.
and they're done the next day and they're miserable the next day and they're not motivated. And 5 people are happy. That's gonna work for 5 people, but the 95 other people, the 195 people are gonna be like, yeah, okay, but you know, that stuff doesn't really work out. So to me, in my head, the way I look at it is like this, you know, I did my job. Because if I think about the people that aren't gonna get the message and they're not gonna work for it, then I'm never gonna be able to train the next people in line. So my job is this in life. My job, personally, my job is to go into people's life, try my best to plant the seed, and that's it. That's it. My job is to plant the seed. And it works in both ways. Either it plants the seed, it grows, which is successful. Either I try to plant the seed, it doesn't grow. So the motivation's there and it's gone tomorrow. Now, when I plant the seed and it grows, what starts to happen is this. Now you get excited. So I planted the seed and it grows. That is the only time I should be excited. And people are like, well, what does this mean? Meaning what happens is sometimes you turn somebody into this tree, this flower, whatever. Then that person goes to move on to a different company. That person leaves. That person goes to do this. But I already did my job. But what happens is now when Janet goes to leave the company, you're like, oh, she should have been with me because, you know, I trained her, I built her up, and I did everything for her. I've done this because I've trained and hired salespeople for a living. And then I said, well, no, Dan, you did your job. Your job was to plant their seed, make their life better, bless them on the way out, let them have some fun, do what they got to do, whatever the case is. Because if I hold the grudge to Janet leaving my sales office, I'm not going to be able to hire the next person. When you go so wide, which is my life, you know me, like I want to impact 1 billion people. I'm not playing to talk to 10 people.
Yeah.
When you go so wide, I go to bed at nighttime, really the thought is this, I just did my job. I planted the seed. This person came successful. If they left, that's fine. But I did my job. I tried my best to plant the seed. I can't think of somebody not blooming or somebody blooming and somebody leaving. It was just my job to plant the seed, let that person go. Don't think about what happens on the way out. And that comes from my sales mentality, because my sales mentality is just to show up and just do the best every single day. It's not, you can never control the outcome, but I can control my action. So there's a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm not attached towards the end outcome of a day. I'm attached towards my action. Any producer, you're attached towards action. You're not attached towards result. You're controlling your actions. Because if you can control your actions, you control your emotions, you're good. So I'm not controlled like when somebody says, oh man, you know, I have to make this by the end of this month. No, focus on your activity. Control your actions inside of your business. Productivity and results are a byproduct.
What I do different than you, like I pull trigger on people. Like if I sit with someone, like I will tell him, you will not make it. You were...
Who says I don't do that?
Yeah, okay. I know.
Wait.
Because I tell
Who
him,
says
you know what,
it?
just go take a job, do your stuff. And then
I do this every day.
You're not an entrepreneur. You don't have the mentality. You don't have anything.
And that is not disrespectful at all.
Actually,
you're helping that
them a
individual.
favor, yeah,
and now
always
listen, wait. This is such a good freaking topic, dude. Can I stop on this for a second?
Please.
This is
You're
a good
the
topic.
guest, it's not me. You're the
This
guest.
is a good topic because now somebody's gonna watch this and say, whoa, man, that's a little bit harsh. You shouldn't. I thought, Daniel, your job was to inspire people, not tell them you shouldn't be good at sales. Okay, well now I'm gonna get back to you, Nancy, for a second. If I said to Nancy, hey, you shouldn't be in sales, you don't have the hunger, you don't have what it takes, it's not for everybody, and it isn't for everybody. I know if she should be in sales based on my response. If she's like, you know what, F that guy, I'm gonna go become successful, I'm glad, good.
Triggered her.
But if it actually made her quit, I am right. But if she was supposed to be there, then she's gonna take that as motivation. She's not gonna see it as demotivation. She's gonna say, no, let me prove Daniel wrong. So actually, I'm doing somebody a service when I kick them out of my office.
Yeah.
Because if they're really supposed to be in this position, they either be back in my office or my competitor's office. So to me, I think it's good to push people out of your proximity. And the same way we do it in leadership is the same way people could do it in sales. I was telling a girl this yesterday. I said, hey, respect your business. Have some self-love. If a client, she was saying yesterday, I can't remember her name. I can't remember the lady's name. She was saying, you know, what if this client is bringing me around, but there's another decision maker that wants me to use a different real estate agent, but I'm trying to sell her and somebody else, her friend is always there with another real estate agent. And her friend wants to make the commission with another real estate agent. She said, hey, listen, there comes to a point in your life where you have to respect your business and say, hey, by the way, I know your friend wants you to work with another realtor. I think at this time, go work with the other realtor. No, and honestly, so I don't break up your relationship, go work with them. You know, that's is your job, to be happy. Go do it and respect your business. Push people out.
Yeah, if she was valuable enough, like, let me tell you.
Internally.
There is something in here in the city that they call it kickback. It means like whatever commission I make, okay, I will give it as a kickback to the client.
I know, of course, it works everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean in here it's heavy. So I mean like in
Tony
here,
loves kickback.
and here, so basically our commissions vary between 3 to 5%. You have some people that will tell the client, okay, I'm gonna give you
1%.
4.5%.
Wow.
I'm gonna keep 0.5. This is how bad it is in here. It's like,
wow.
yeah, it's disgusting. But I'll tell you something.
You don't even need to be a realtor here.
Yeah.
You could just do referrals.
I bet any agent in the country that whatever they offer to any of my clients will tell them, thank you for the offer, it's very generous, but I don't see any value with you. Like whatever you're gonna offer it back to me, I will pay it 10 times more to find a person like that to give me this 5 to 7 services.
Right.
So for that girl, whoever she is, if she has shown that actual value,
yes,
no one can take her away.
But
honestly speaking,
yes, that's why I said,
but
you know,
if you're just selling or renting a property, yeah, it's just a number. There is 24,000 agents in the city.
But that's why I told her, I said, move on, focus on getting better. Stop it. Like your job, the job is not, everybody tries to go for the one quick fix. So like, you know, it's funny when I do events, people are like, what would you say for this close? What would you do in this situation? And I always think in my head, I'm like, no. This is not the problem. You know what I mean? It's never one objection. The problem is what you just said, is that you haven't built up enough value. Maybe you haven't done something. That the objection thing is not the problem. Her telling somebody to go to another realtor is not the problem. The person doesn't look at you and say, I need you. That's the problem. So instead of me dealing with your bullshit question yesterday, which was, oh, should she go to the other realtor? Maybe you should go home and say, how the heck do I become a person of value where nobody even has the thought of working with somebody else? Nobody is gonna come to me and say, bro, who should I pick between you and somebody else? Don't pick me, bro. Go somewhere else. I got work to do. In my head, that's what I'm thinking now. Why the heck does this guy have a decision who to pick? Nobody has ever in their life had to decide, no, I'm hiring Daniel because I want to work with Daniel. Daniel's gonna get the job done. That's it. So it's not just the one thing that's gonna make that girl better. It's like you said, she's not a person of value. So the person.
It's a bit funny that the most successful people on the planet, they are the most uncomfortable people in their life. Like single moms, single dads.
Yeah, of course, because it propels them towards something. Yeah, of course.
So it's like with these guys in here, I tell them like, listen, all of us here, we are expats. We were not born here. Like we are not actual Emiratis. And all of us, in order for us to left our countries, there is massive issues in our countries. So we are blessed to be living in a city where the weather is like for 9 months is beautiful. Forget the summer. Okay, we are living in such a security where we don't have to worry about anything. No one will rob you in here. No one will even dare to do something. So we have all of the components to be living too close to a perfect place, and where we have this city that it can sell itself. You just need to direct people, just to be honest, just to give them that service, and you're gonna make tons of money. And guess what? This money is tax-free, is not to your pocket. And find me this somewhere else in the world. So once you are looking for a motivation, all what you need to be motivated is that you are alive and you're living in this city.
Yeah,
and you don't need
that's what I
else.
said. It's some people complicate the motivation thing.
Yeah.
Like it's too much. Like what more do you want? You woke up and you were able to come to this office. Like the moment I walked in here, somebody came up to me and they said, "Oh man, welcome to the office, man. So what are you doing here today?" I'm like, "Dude, let's make some money." I felt like when I walked in here, I seen some sales guys walking around. I'm like, well, let's pick up a phone. Let's make some money right now. Cause I'm like, automatically, it's like, I'm in my mode. Like, I don't need somebody to say, hey, come in here. You got to sell, blah, blah, blah. Again, to me, it's the motivator. Sales is the motivator. I have the opportunity to do it. You know what I mean? Some people don't even know the thought of how much they can make. You know, so it's crazy. Just to me, knowing the thought of how much I can make. Let's say, for example, I was in this office. I wouldn't need nobody to come to me and say, hey, bro, you got to work harder. You want to know why? Because I would walk by Loe's office and I walk by you and I'd say, dude, how much you make? You'd say, oh, $6 million last year. Oh, it's cool. I don't need to read a book anymore. Because that's enough. That's already enough. It's game over. You just said 6 million to me. That's all I did. You made 6 million? Okay, cool. Game over. Don't need to read a book when I wake up. This guy made $6 million. It's attainable. But some people can't even come to the thought of that they can make that money. So just to even be aware that I can make 6 million, I'm grateful enough for that. Just to be aware of it, that I have an opportunity that can make me 6 million, no, that's enough of a motivator. What more do I need? I need these 15 different reasons, and I get it because you talked about the why, the purpose, It's great, but again, I'm in sales to make money. And sometimes people think they have to be passionate about sales. Listen, I was not passionate about sales. I didn't wake up saying I'm a passionate salesperson. I wasn't
passionate about the process of sales.
Yes, but I'm not passionate. I just got off an interview. No, but it's yes, exactly. But I didn't say when I'm young, I need to be a salesperson. Like I'm not like, again, we're in business. I'm in the people space. I'm not in just the product space. I'm in the people space. I'm not passionate about sales, but the thing for me was, when I'm inside of this sales business, doing the sales gig, whatever the case is, to me, I just see not many people were raised to understand that, there is something outside of what they've been taught. So this is like my motivator enough, like to, even when I wake up out of bed in the morning, I get texts from people, hey, this person's sick, this happened to this. Like, whoa, how am I able to stay up for 3 days and just come to this office and run this podcast? Thank you, God, for just giving me another day just to work out this business. I don't know where it comes from, but let's just work it out. That's it. I don't need to write 15 things in my notebook to say, this is why I'm going to do what I freaking do. No, I've been given this opportunity. That's it.
I don't know. I feel there's something with you. Like, you've made the success. You've made the money. You've made the image. Everyone knows you.
Uh-huh.
On social media and real life. Is there someone that triggered you earlier in your life when you were a kid or a teenager and told you you're not good enough, you're a failure, you're something, and that's why you have this massive flame in you where you want to prove that, no, you're wrong, I'm gonna dominate the planet?
Only for 1 second. Honestly, it was 1 second until I realized, I said, if I play this game to always prove somebody wrong, I'm never gonna get to where I really, really want to get to. So meaning like one teacher once when I was selling, like when I was in door-to-door sales, she literally wrote on my test. And meanwhile, like I walked in school with $2,000 cash in my pocket because I was in sales doing that door-to-door sales job. I was a freaking gangster at school. I was walking around both pockets full of money. So this I was doing English. I can't even, when I was in English class, I was born English, speaking English. But when we were doing Shakespeare and stuff and, proper English, grammar, I'm thinking about how do I make another $1,000? I'm not thinking about this thing. I would fail English, fail. I had an English teacher when I was 15, right? I have a late birthday, December 9th. So I was 15. I think I was in grade 10 at the time. She writes on my test. She says, she writes on my test saying, if you don't pass the next one, you're going to end up being a garbage truck driver. And it was on my test. And then she handed me, she said, read that.
How old were you?
15.
Yeah, that's upsetting to read.
And I said, whoa, I'm gonna be a garbage truck driver. Then I went to work Thursday. She said that to me, like a grade 10 teacher. I went to work and I made another $1,000 on the weekend. And then I said, no. There's already a flaw in people's messaging. Like I already understood this game of life when I was 15. I'm like, I've been lied to forever. She's saying I'm not going to be successful, but she's referring to success as money. I already have this game figured out. I already knew I was going to be rich when I was 15. I had no doubt that I was going to have a lack of money when I was 15. No doubt, because I'm very logical. I'm logical. I made $1,000. She says I'm going to be a garbage truck driver, but I already know if I times that by 3 days and I make $1,000 a week at that time, I'm a millionaire in people's heads. I'm making so much money. So to me, it's like there was one trigger, but I already realized that there was a flaw. Probably in that person, they had an insecurity about their own life that they weren't able to trace a passion. So now she's just taking her anger out on a grade 10 student, to be honest with you. Now when I really think of it, how, like, think of such a low state you have to be in to tell a kid, if you don't work, this is where you're going to end up. And I'm grade 10. I'm like the weakest.
I had this experience. In my school, they always tell me, like, you're not good for anything.
Yeah.
You will always be like that. We don't know how you're gonna end up. And then, I don't know, 3 or 4 years back, I met all of them, all of my teachers.
Interesting situation, right?
In a wedding of my friend where he invited everyone and I saw everyone and they were like, is this legal what you're doing? I'm like, yeah, like my job is obvious. Like, that's how bad you think of me. And then
that's so crazy that you just said that. People will think, isn't it crazy how if you go above the norm, especially like,
you must be doing something
just right above the norm, forget even the teachers, just your friends. You know, just your friend. When I was in corporate sales, the most ethical by ethical, you're following the book. I have this thing, my clients are giving to me. I'm in medical sales, meaning when I go sell somebody, the government's even paying the paycheck. I'm going to sell the person that has to get approval by the government to even give me a $5 million check for medical beds. I'm in medical sales. I didn't make my money in the beginning stage of my first year one inside of my business. I made it from medical sales that I was saving up my bank account. And when I went to go buy a car, like a nice fancy car, I was driving nice cars, BMWs, Mercedes, but then I went to go buy an exotic car. Everybody came up to me and said, bro, what is it that you do? Like, what do you do? Like, and they would look at me weird, like, yo, what's the gray line inside of your business? Because now I opened up a business. Yeah. So like, I'm like, no, but I got this off my sales job. Like my sales job that I showed up to 7 days a week. No, but like,
come on, tell us the truth. Come on, there must be something.
I'm like, my business only did like $8,000 that month. I'm not doing nothing in my business yet. Yeah. This is from my sales job, right? And it's funny because I said, there's no way, like this person already has this connotation about that if you make over $120,000, you're doing something illegal. And that's where I say, whoa, we've all been programmed to be effed because, you know, and you know, you lose so many people along the way as well. And it never stops. So then I stopped trying to prove people wrong because you waste your energy trying to prove people 100%. Wrong. You just waste, it's just a waste of energy. And it happens no matter what. Eventually, if you work your ass off, you know, it always happens and it never stops. You tell somebody a bigger vision, somebody's gonna say, hey, I don't think you could do it. Hey, slow down. So I just realized it is never gonna stop in my career. I never stop. I always think bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Every time I did a leap inside of my career, everybody had an unpopular opinion. And then when I looked at it, I said, okay, where's your sales agency? Well, no. Where's your sales agency? Dan, I don't think you should go to Miami to open up. Really, where's your sales agency in Miami? Show me your office. Your opinion's invalid. Or you don't have to have a sales agency, but show me that you did an office in Toronto. If you're a broker, I want to see your office in Toronto and your office in Miami. Okay, so then you even come to the logical standpoint of opinions that a lot of them aren't even valid. So it's just a heavy commodity that you're holding in your back.
I'm going through all of this, and the funniest one for me is like when I see people are giving relationship advices and divorce.
Yes, like, those ones are the best. It's like my girl breaks up with me and I go to my buddy, hey, bro, you know this guy, and then he becomes a relationship coach.
Yeah.
Bro, you just cheated on your girlfriend 17 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what's been happening here, but eventually I'm very happy I got to sit down with you.
Of course, thank you.
We're so alike mentally, we have this, and yesterday you said something on the stage, it really touched my heart, resonated with me because I don't know how to explain it. When you said like, I'm very careful about securing my own energy, who I talk to, who I spend time with. And this is what I've been doing lately because I feel my day from morning to evening is just being, I don't know, I'm spreading my energy everywhere, but it's not giving me any returns or at least any satisfaction. I'm not just talking financially. So I'm kind of keeping myself away from people and just doing my ideas, making these ideas become reality by writing another book, by doing another business, by having another service. So when you said that, I was very happy. I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy, I'm not alone. Because you cannot explain this to people. Most people will say, oh, he made so much money now, he feels he's different. He don't want to hang around with us. It's like, no, this has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with me. Mm-hmm. I am here, you're here. We can hook up for a dinner, for drinks, for whatever, but I cannot spend my day with you because our ideas are not...
I don't even think I go out for dinner and drinks. Personally, really, I mean, you know, one of my friends here, my best friend that grew up with me, you know, when he came to Canada when he was 17, 18, I don't go out with anybody that I can't see myself going out with them for the next 20 years just to waste my time. I feel it right away. I don't go with anybody. I obviously, you know, whatever the case is, hey, listen, I'm working. But I don't even go out for that one drink or that one thing to tease it, that I'm going to open up a relationship or whatever the case is. And if it happens, like inside of my life. But, you know, I think as you grow and you do more, a lot more people just want to pull from you. So you just got to be aware of it.
The more you're growing, the lonelier it's getting.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's true. You know, you never really think of that. You have a lot of people around you. But let's say, for example, somebody like myself, my whole day is pouring into people. It's my whole day. You know, if I'm done with you, then I'm trying to go hire these 3 guys and I'm training this one guy. So it's always constantly giving. And then you look back and you're like, whoa, who's going to give me right now? Who's going to give me this source of energy or advice or consulting or, this direction? So yeah, of course it does get lonely, but that's the whole fun of it.
this has been amazing.
Thank you.
I cannot get enough from you. We can speak all
I
day,
know.
but no, now I know you have another program.
Thank you.
have to be at. Thanks a lot for coming.
Appreciate
on
it.
the
Thank you
show.
guys for having me.
Thank you guys. I'm
Really.
sure you enjoyed this, and see you in the next one.
And if you guys haven't read, don't stop it. If you haven't read the book Take Charge, go grab a copy of the book Take Charge if you guys haven't grabbed the copy. I'm saying it, endorsing it. Grab a copy of the book Take Charge and go read it. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode. See you on the next one.